Commander
results,
Rebecca
Commander.
Torres stared
The
at the
energy signature is
holographic
off the
display
charts.
aboard the
Get me Admiral
Galactic Council
Patterson now.
monitoring station Sentinel Prime, her coffee forgotten in mid-air as the zero-gravity mug drifted away. The readings made no sense. "Run the scan again," she ordered, her voice tight. Lieutenant Marcus Webb didn't question the command. He'd seen that look before, the one that said reality had just broken its own rules. His fingers danced across the haptic interface, initiating a full-spectrum analysis of the object that had just translated out of faster-than-light travel at the system's edge. "Same results, Commander. The energy signature it's putting out more power than a Crovenian dreadnought, but the mass displacement suggests something a tenth of the size." Webb's hands trembled slightly. "This doesn't match anything in our database. Not human, not any of the Council races." Torres anchored herself to the deck with magnetic boots and pulled up the visual feed. The ship, if it could be called that, hung in the black like a silver dart, its hull seeming to absorb and reflect light in ways that hurt to look at directly. "Get me Admiral Patterson. Now." The briefing room aboard Sentinel Prime had been built to accommodate 17 different species, but today it held only humans. Admiral James Patterson's weathered face filled the main screen, his expression grim from Earth Command, 30 light-years away in real space but connected via quantum entanglement communicator. "You're telling me this thing just appeared in the Hadria system and has been sitting there for 6 hours doing nothing?" Patterson's voice carried the weight of 4 decades of military service. "Affirmative, sir." Torres pulled up the compiled data. "It's not broadcasting. It's not moving. But our passive sensors are picking up energy fluctuations that suggest active shielding technology at least 2 centuries beyond our current capabilities. Could it be a probe? Automated?" Dr. Elizabeth Harper, the station's xenotechnology specialist, leaned forward. "Sir, with respect, this thing is powered by something we can't even identify. The reactor signature doesn't match fusion, antimatter, or zero-point energy. It's something else entirely." Patterson was silent for a moment. "Rules of engagement are as follows: diplomatic approach only. Torres, you take the vanguard and make contact. If this is first contact with a new species, we do this by the book." The Vanguard was humanity's newest corvette, equipped with experimental jump drives and enough firepower to level a small moon. Against the unknown vessel, Torres suspected it would be like bringing a knife to a gunfight in space. Distance, 10,000 kilometers and closing, Webb reported from the navigation console. The bridge crew was skeleton, just 12 officers for a mission that could change everything. Torres opened all channels. "Unidentified vessel, this is Commander Rebecca Torres of the human exploratory ship Vanguard, representing Earth and the Galactic Council. We come in peace and request communication." Silence. The silver ship hung there, motionless. "Try mathematical sequences," Torres ordered. "Basic primes, then." The view screen erupted with light. Not harmful, but sudden, a cascade of symbols and equations that scrolled faster than human eyes could follow. The ship's AI struggled to keep pace, translating, categorizing, analyzing. Then, a voice. Clear, unaccented English. "Hello, Rebecca Torres. We have been waiting for you." The voice belonged to someone calling himself Captain Nathan Cross. His face appeared on screen, human, unmistakably so, but with eyes that seemed to hold knowledge beyond his apparent 30 years. "Waiting for us?" Torres felt ice in her veins. "Who are you?" Cross smiled, but it was sad. "I'm human. Just like you. But I'm from your future, approximately 417 years ahead of your current timeline." The bridge erupted in shocked murmurs. Torres raised a hand for silence. "That's impossible. Temporal mechanics prohibit. Prohibit closed time-like curves, yes. This isn't time travel, Commander. It's worse." Cross's expression darkened. "In my timeline, humanity expanded too fast, colonized too aggressively. We triggered a war with the Sindari Collective, a species that won't make contact with your timeline for another 73 years. The war lasted 2 centuries and ended with Earth's destruction. Harper's voice cracked over the comm. If you're from a different timeline, why are you here? Because we discovered that certain quantum events can be nudged. Not changed directly, but influenced. Cross gestured, and the view screen split to show technical schematics that made Torres's head spin. This ship, the Temporal Vanguard, was built with technology we developed in our timeline's final years. We've identified the nexus point. A first contact event in your near future that leads to the cascade of events ending in catastrophe. You're asking us to change our future based on your past, Torres said slowly. To avoid contact with this Sindari Collective. No. Cross shook his head. I'm asking you to be ready when they come. In our timeline, we were peaceful explorers, scientists. We weren't prepared for a species that saw expansion as an existential threat to themselves. He transmitted a data package. These are shield harmonics, weapon configurations, diplomatic protocols, everything we learned too late. Patterson's voice cut through from Earth Command. This could be an elaborate hoax. A way to manipulate us into militarizing beyond Council regulations. It could be, Cross admitted. But ask yourself, Admiral, can you afford to be wrong? We lost Earth. We lost Mars, Titan, Europa. 16 billion souls across 240 colonies, extinguished over 2 centuries of war. His voice broke. I'm the last one. The last human from my timeline. This ship will dissolve in 72 hours, temporal instability, and I'll go with it. But this knowledge, this warning, it can survive. Torres looked at the data streaming across her console. Energy shield configurations that would revolutionize defense. Diplomatic frameworks for aggressive species contact. Medical technology centuries advanced. If we accept this, she said carefully, we change everything. Our development, our trajectory as a species. Cross nodded. You'll become what we should have been, ready not for war, but for survival. Strong enough that war becomes unnecessary. 3 days later, the Temporal Vanguard vanished in a cascade of exotic particles, its quantum signature collapsing as predicted. Captain Nathan Cross went with it, the last ghost of a timeline that would never be. But in the Vanguard's secure databanks, encrypted and verified by every scanner humanity possessed, lay the legacy of a future that had paid for its lessons in blood and ash. Admiral Patterson stood in Earth Command strategy room, surrounded by the Council's finest minds, all struggling to understand technology that shouldn't exist yet. We don't have to use all of it, he said quietly. But we'd be fools not to learn from it. Torres, present via hologram, nodded. He gave us a chance. A warning. What we do with it defines who we become. Outside, stars wheeled in their ancient dance, and somewhere in the darkness, the Sindari Collective continued their expansion, unaware that humanity was no longer the unprepared species that would one day cross their path. They would be ready. They would survive. And perhaps, this time, they would find peace not through naivety, but through strength tempered with hard-won wisdom from a future that would never come to pass.